think the sharp market is going to eventually land on the Chargers, but I think they're kind of trying to get that number where they want it before they play it, and if they have to, they'll settle for it on Sunday. But I don't think the public, I don't think the sharp side of things has spoken yet in this game.
Yeah, so we're at Ravens -2.5, -20, trying to not go to 3, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I saw a couple books in town actually did go to 3 not long ago, so wouldn't be surprised to see the Ravens go to 3, and then I think you're going to see some Chargers money at that number. So far, the Chargers are actually the public side. I think it's funny because the first 3 games that we just talked about, including this one, the public side is the dog. The ticket count is heavier on the Chargers, both against the spread and on the money line. Chargers at +130. Money line is a popular bet. And I think kind of from a handicapping standpoint, you have to look at the Ravens are running more of like a kind of a gimmicky offense with the read option. And Chargers saw this. This is going to be, Lamar Jackson's second go-around against the Chargers. So you think that should benefit San Diego. I said it there, San Diego. Should benefit L.A., and that's going to end up leading to some sharp bets on the Chargers if it gets to 3.
Always interesting when in the regular season finale a team beats a team and then faces the team in the playoffs that they are playing because they got the win. The Bears obviously beat Minnesota. That allowed Philadelphia to get in, so they're seeing this opponent. The defense against the Foles, and can he do it again is the question. What does the public think?
Well, the public thinks he can in terms of one customer we have, because the biggest bet that we've taken so far in these 4 wildcard games is on the Eagles money line. It was at they were +215 at the time. It was a bet for 5 figures. It was about if I remember right, it was a $25,000 bet, +215 on the Eagles money line. So that clearly is a nice size bet considering the circumstance. But on the spread itself, the public is on the Bears here. This is the favorite that they like the best. So if you take out that bet, we really would need Eagles pretty bad. Over 2 times the money and 2 times the tickets are on the Bears in this one. The one thing I will mention, though, is that we do really, really bad to the Bears to win the whole Super Bowl. So it might be worth knocking them out for us, even though we might lose to the game a little bit.
Well, Nick Foles has been pretty good in the playoffs, so you might get your wish on that one. And on Monday, I guess Alabama's the villain here, right? So, the fans might be betting Clemson with their hearts. I think the sharps are also betting them with their wallets. So this line is not doing what a lot of people thought it would do. I think the consensus out there was that, Alabama will end up going to 7 in this game, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think, can there be 2 villains when it's the same teams every year? Because that might be what we have here. And when you look at the rosters just littered with sophomores and freshmen, wouldn't be shocked if we were sitting here a year from now talking about the same thing. But, here we are, Clemson, Bama again. And we have the number is 5.5. We opened this one at 6, and it went right to 5.5 right away. They bet Clemson. The sharp guys bet Clemson. I mean, I personally have maintained all year that I thought Clemson was a lot closer to Bama than people realized, and I think we're seeing that with this game. And that's why the line is actually going towards the Clemson Tigers here. The money line bets are on Clemson as well from the public, but you're getting such a good price. I mean, typically a 5.5, 6-point favorite on the money line is a lot higher than 2-1, and you're only getting them at -210, and that's going to keep trickling down as the money line bets come on Clemson. So if you're taking Bama, you might want to look at the money line, even though that's not something you normally would do. The other thing here is they bet the over. We were a little low with the total. We opened it at 55. Shot right up to 59.5.
By the way, this has become kind of like, in terms of what you just mentioned, Jason, on the spread versus money line and the lack of value on the money line as far as the dog is concerned and what actually is value on the favorite. This has become very, very much like a Super Bowl.
It has been, and we've seen this in the last few years. So, the public doesn't really love, in a game like this, when you get a lot of, kind of eyes of people who aren't used to gambling a lot, they just want to bet the game itself. They tend to think, okay, I want to bet the game, and I like the underdog because I want to get 2-1 on my money. So you end up having a situation where you don't move the point spread, but you move the money line. Typically, we'll do both simultaneously, but not in this one. So here, what we end up wanting to have happen is, you have a spot where they bet Clemson on the money line, and there's a lot of value on Alabama money line. So if we end up in a situation where Alabama can win the game by 1 through 5, we scoop up everything and win a big amount of money. So that's what we're going to be rooting for.
Jason, 2 questions on that national championship. The first, Alabama got up 28-0. If Alabama wins that game 31-3, do you think it opens 7? Second question. Go ahead.
Yep, sorry. No, I was sorry to cut you off. I actually think it was going to open 6.5 and go to 7. So I think you're right on there.
Second question, the national championship compared to one of the wild card playoff games as far as volume goes?
Yeah, I actually think that, we're a unique case because, we're in the Venetian and the Cosmopolitan,
right,
which are, predominantly tourist locations. And unfortunately for this championship game, Monday, January 7th is kind of a dead night there. It doesn't do great for us in terms of the betting volume historically on that game. So I do think that it's going to do well, but I wouldn't be shocked if either the Bears-Eagles game or the Cowboys-Seahawks game outdoes it.
Let's talk about some basketball. We got some good games tonight. We'll touch on the NBA doubleheader. This is an action doubleheader. Kawhi Leonard returning to San Antonio with the Raptors in Game 1, and then the nightcap between the Rockets and Warriors. Don't have to hype that at all. So what's happening with the betting on these two games?
Yeah, the Raptors game is fun because, you've got, as you said, Kawhi returning to San Antonio, and then on Saturday you have a huge matchup between the Raptors and the Bucks actually play tomorrow. So, you have two games in 3 nights for the Raptors and a back-to-back for the Bucks. So it makes you wonder, what the Raptors are going to do here against the Western Conference team when they have the big Eastern Conference matchup looming. So Raptors as a 2-point dog has been what the public wants to bet. They're on that money line, which makes sense because you're getting, the Raptors, who are arguably the best team in the league, sans Warriors as a dog. So that seems to be the public side so far.
Ralph mentioned this a few minutes ago, talking about the Iowa-Purdue game tonight, and there's going to be a lot of emotion here on the Purdue side because of the passing of Tyler Trent. Did you? It seems kind of crass to ask this, but that's what we do. I mean, this is about gambling. Did you factor that into the line at all for the first half of the game? Because it actually might be worth. I mean, I hate saying this because it sounds so rude, but I actually think it might be worth a point to Purdue.
Well, I think that this game in general is interesting because you look at these teams and you look at their records and the fact that you've got Iowa, who's 11-2 overall, against Purdue, who's 8-5 overall, and you figure, these teams are pretty close to each other, and then you look at the number and you see Purdue's, a 9.5-point favorite. So, there certainly is the perception that these teams are a lot closer, which is why the public has actually been on Iowa quite big here.
That's interesting.
And I think that's the reason.
Boy, that really is interesting to me because I thought this is, to me, it's almost one of those automatic things where, Purdue's going to come out. They're really going to come out fired up and trying to honor the memory of Tyler Trent tonight. And I thought that's why the line was so high, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we've seen that's part of the reason why the line was up there, and we've seen Iowa money. I'm looking at the ticket count now, and there it's over 2 times more bets on Iowa.
And Iowa guard Garza is probably questionable. Yeah. He's very, very questionable. Probably not going to play their number 2 scorer. Another Big Ten game. Dave and I talked about Illinois disappointing, going to Indiana, who's undefeated at home. Are people buying into the rebuild of the Hoosiers?
Yeah, they are in this one. This is kind of the exact opposite there, where they're kind of on the dog here. Nobody wants to bet the dog in Illinois. How can you blame them? Really high amount of money. In fact, as I'm looking at it, the 2 games that are in the most amount of parlays, the 2 biggest public games for the night in college hoops are Indiana and Michigan. So from our perspective, we're going to need the dogs in one of those games, but they really, really want to bet Indiana here. We've actually taken more bets on Indiana money line than Illinois money line, which is pretty crazy considering Indiana is nearly a 7-1 favorite.
I actually wrote these in reverse order on the little format I send out because I want to get the Big Ten out of the way, and then we'll do the Pac-12. Minnesota-Wisconsin is a rivalry no matter what sport they're playing. The Badgers, though, started to impress a lot of people as a team that might be around for a long time this year. Is that being reflected in the betting?
It has been early on, and then we actually saw the Sharps actually like Minnesota here. They took 9.5 with Minnesota. The line's still there because the public on Wisconsin is so high. So we actually are in a situation now where we win to both sides because of good two-way action. But this is a bit of a pros versus shows here. People the pros just think that the 9.5 is just a shade too high.
Arizona State goes out and beat Kansas and loses to Princeton the next game at home. So which side of this Heckle-Jekyll team do people believe in as the Pac-12 season starts?
Yeah, this is like you figure Arizona State to bounce back huge here after the disappointing loss to Princeton. I think that game ended up going off with Arizona State as a 14.5 or 15-point favorite, and they lost outright. They're laying 11 here against Utah, and people have come back with them pretty big. Arizona State is one of the more publicly bet teams, so far this year. Even against that in the big Nevada game, we needed Nevada in that one because Arizona State's gotten so much public support. No different here.
When I saw the Arizona line come out last night at home against Colorado, and saw 6s out there, I said, boy, that is set up to be a pros versus Joes all the way because I know the public's going to be on Arizona. But it looks like the wise guys didn't jump in on the other side. Line's gone up anyway.
Yeah, the line has gone up. We've taken considerably amount of more bets on Arizona. The ticket count is about 2x on Arizona. Money is about even with that. So it's really just been kind of the public bet backing Arizona minus the 6, which is why it's 6.5, and really not much action on Colorado at all.
Well, there's no way in the world UCLA would ever have to need an interim basketball coach. Oh, yeah, they do. So, tell us, are people buying into an interim with UCLA?
I mean, I looked at this game and it's just like, ugh. I mean, you have UCLA as a 7.5-point favorite. I don't know who in the world would ever lay with them considering the circumstances. So this just kind of makes to be a weird game. Stanford is obviously getting 7.5 to this UCLA team. That's a mess. Just says all you need to know about them. So it's a really, really interesting spot here. In terms of what's happening for the betting, pretty even because I think nobody really knows what to do with it. So we've taken, a few more bets on UCLA. The money's a little bit in favor of UCLA, but not by a lot. And I was surprised anybody laid 7.5 with UCLA considering.
I got to tell you, I don't know who's broadcasting the game tonight. Please let Bill Walton be on the air for this game. You know how nuts it'll be with Walton's crazy anyway, and with what's taking place at UCLA, that could be the best broadcast of the year if Walton's doing the game tonight.
I would love that. That would be fun. Who knows what he's going to talk about?
Oh, boy. Because he's still delusional as far as UCLA.
He may go coach the team,
All right. Hey, what's going on as far as the CG Sportsbooks are concerned? I mean, you guys came up with a great promotion last week on the minus 108 in football games.
Yeah, we did the minus 108 in the football games, which was pretty popular. And I also want to mention in the college national title game, because I didn't before, we're offering a split in the money line that's super favorable. Alabama is minus 210. Clemson is plus 190.
Wow.
You're not going to get that split anywhere. So if you're looking to play that national title game, you might want to look there to do it. So hopefully that attracts some people to bet. So we've got that up right now. And we have a new sports betting app. It's called CG Sportsbooks in the App Store. So come and download an account, check it out, sign up, and you can check out our brand new app.
It's real easy. And for those who are visiting this weekend and you're going to bet the NFL games, the national title game, if you're sticking around, you open an account when you get here and you just close it up when you leave. And the nice part is if you can't get to the book to close it, you can still get your money by mail.
Yeah, we have an account withdrawal form. Just fill it out, send it back over to us. We'll get you paid. So, it's certainly very, very convenient.
It sure is. Jason, thanks as always. Appreciate it, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Jason Simbal providing what I think is some of the best behind-the-counter info you will ever get on a weekly basis here on the show. Great to have Jason with us on Thursdays, and you can follow him on Twitter at JSimbal. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Joe's Angle of the Day, and then Ralph and I will take a look at some wild card previews and maybe some betting trends that might be of interest.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
After 20 years at our West Sahara location, Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas has outgrown its facility. And to better serve our customers, we have moved to an all-new state-of-the-art facility. Hi, this is Ray Donardi. Come visit us at our new location, 6425 Roy Horn Way, on the south side of the 215, just west of Jones. Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. One great company, two iconic brands.
I'm attorney Paul Powell. If you've been in an accident, did you know that your lawyer can take 33% from your settlement? I promise to never take more money than you. If you've been injured in an accident, call me right now, 728-5500. Paul Powell, more lawyer, less fee.
People ask, John, do you really work for Finley Toyota? My answer is yes, and you really do have a friend in the auto business. So if you're looking for a great deal on a new, certified pre-owned or used Toyota, come in and say hello. I'm John Barr, and I'll do anything to sell you a car.
If you have more credit card debt than you can handle, you probably have questions.
Do I have to pay it all off?
How does debt settlement work?
How long will it take?
Can I avoid bankruptcy?
At Credit Associates, we'll give you real answers. Answers the credit card companies don't want you to know. For free, call 1-800-300-7509. For instance, if you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, there may be a way to get debt-free without paying it all off or going bankrupt. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but great news for you. At Credit Associates, settling debt for a lot less than you owe is our specialty. So the real question is,
How much of my debt can be forgiven?
Call now to find out. 1-800-300-7509. We depend on your success and